So, I've never gotten diagnosed with ADHD, and if that makes me any less credible for speaking about ADHD, I'm sorry. But I have had a lot of the symptoms, I have had a lot of the experiences. So, when I was growing up, I would never do my homework, and I would, and it wasn't like I'm not going to do my homework. I would say that I'm going to do my homework, and then I would go home, and then I would get distracted playing video games or watching TV, or I'd stay in school until really late because I was hanging out with people who were around school. And I just react to this stimuli in front of me, and I would just not do my homework. It would just not happen. And I would get into trouble for it. And like my teachers would scold me. And they'd scold you the first couple of times, and once you do it like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times, once you do that over and over again, you become like every single time somebody repeats the fact that they didn't do their homework, there's like some churn. Some people wisen up and do their homework, right? And so over the years, there are like a very small group of people who repeatedly refuse to do their homework or who just don't. And I think that's really, really interesting. I don't think we talk about that enough. I mean, why do some kids just never do their homework? It gets to the point where the pain of getting punished for not doing your homework and having your parents called up to school and scolded, because my parents got called up to school all the time in primary school, and I changed primary school once and then again, and in secondary school and in JC. I have always had my parents come to school to explain why I haven't done my homework. And I would like to quickly make an aside and talk about how I am making a living right now with my skills that I developed on the internet, procrastinating when not doing my homework. And if I had just spent more time online and spent more time writing and making videos earlier, maybe, and learning to code and learning to design, I'd be a much more productive member of society. Aside, that's an aside. But going back to education, and I mean, I'm not just talking about education. Even things that I wanted to do. So I wanted to learn to play the guitar, and I did. And I wanted to practice very specifically, and I never managed to stick to my practice schedules. I just couldn't. It's like responsibility is a skill set that nobody taught me, and it just seemed like everybody else could do it. It's like a language that they could speak that I could not speak, and I've just lived with that, And I guess I don't know if I believe that ADHD exists. I'm hesitant to get diagnosed because I feel like I don't trust the people doing the diagnoses. I don't trust that. I mean, our assessments of these things change over the years. So like something can change and people say, oh, it's not a disorder anymore, or turns out that what we call ADHD is actually a bucket of 3 or 4 different coexisting comorbidities, co-happening problems. I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure we don't understand the human brain as well as we think we do or we claim we do. And just, I don't like the idea of getting diagnosed. But I have read a lot up about ADHD. I've checked out what Dr. Russell Barker says, and he's a really smart guy who really knows what he's talking about. And he describes it as it's not so much an attention deficit disorder as it is an attention dysfunction disorder. So my problem isn't that I can't pay attention, is that I can't regulate my attention the way other people can. So I can read lots and lots of books. I'm sure I can point you to, I can annotate books over and over again. And I can play video games for like 20 hours long. I'm serious. I can play. I've never met a person personally who can play video games longer than me. And it's almost creepy. Like, I can just outlast everyone. But like, my body will start failing and I'll feel sick. But I'll just keep going. It's just, I'm weird that way. And I don't want to change that. I just want to manage that better. I realize that I just need to exercise more, eat healthier, sleep better, and just, come up with environmental solutions to my problems. I don't know if I have it here, but I have like this spindle that I use, and I write my tasks on Post-its, and then I pierce the tasks on the Post-its. So living with me, so I don't want to say ADHD, but living with the way I am has been very stressful. It's like, I'm always worried about all the things I've not done. I'm always worried about all the tasks that need to happen that have not happened that I cannot remember. And I just want to say that if you have this, I want to say it's alright, but whether or not it's alright depends on how well you function in life. I think it's a gift and a curse, and if you manage it well, my hypothesis is that life can be good, that we can learn to, produce a lot of work, produce things that are useful to the world. And I I guess I wanted to talk about it because I felt like I never seriously considered it. I assumed that ADHD meant kids who are fidgeting in class, and I was never like that. So, but I was always disruptive. So if you read my report cards, it's very damning. I'm always disruptive. Needs to be more conscientious in my work. Needs to be more focused. And I wish I was. I remember crying as a kid, looking in the mirror, saying, "Why wouldn't you do your homework?" And I didn't. And even now, there's work that I should be doing that I should probably get to now that I'm done with a bunch of videos. So I will do that then.